All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Now, today, I am doing a very special video for all of you readers of the future and all of you possible writers of the future. I am now going to explain to you how you can win a trip to Hollywood to attend a huge publishing event at the end of April of 2023. And at this event, you will be meeting dozens of famous, iconic writers and illustrators in the science fiction and fantasy field, including myself. So before we get to the contest, well, actually, let's talk about the contest now. That's what the video's about, right? So this is called the Readers of the Future contest, and it's being done in conjunction with the Writers of the Future contest. Now, let me explain the Writers of the Future contest. Some of you might know about this, but this contest has been around for 40 years. It started in the mid-1980s. Where young, amateur, unpublished writers could submit their short stories to this competition, and if those stories were judged to be good enough, they were put into the Writers of the Future anthology. And that contest has been going on every year now for almost 40 years. And it has produced some of our biggest names in the science fiction and fantasy field. Young writers with no name entered this competition. They got their work in the anthology and they went on to get publishing contracts. And you out there have read at least one or two or three or four or a dozen of these writers. And I am going to go over in a minute how to enter the competition, what to expect at the competition, and all of that stuff. The event itself, the publishing event itself, is in celebration of Writers of the Future, volume number 39, which I hopefully can edit a picture of the cover of that right here. So hopefully it's there right now. I don't know. I'm not good at editing, but it should show up. This is the event. It's a big publishing event. I've been to these Writers of the Future publishing events before, and they are huge. In the link that I provide you, you will be able to see some photos of what it looks like at this competition. It looks like the Oscars. It's like as big and grand as the Oscars, and I'm not just kidding you. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a list, just so you know how big this competition is and how important it has been into the science fiction and fantasy genre, by naming just a few of the past winners of the competition and some of the past judges of the competition. And I'm just going to start with like classic science fiction names like Frederick Paul and Algis Budrice, all the way to some of our new superstars like Nnedi Okorafor. And then we've got some of my favorite writers of all time have been a part of this competition, either as a winner or a judge, including Tim Powers, Eric Flint, my good friend David Farland, Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle, Anne McCaffrey, Orson Scott Card, Patrick Rothfuss, Brandon Sanderson, Frank Herbert, and last, but certainly not to be considered least, Brian Lee Durfee. In fact, I got my start in the genre because I entered the Writers of the Future volume number 9 way back when I was a college student, and I got into Writers of the Future volume number 9. So, as you can see, the list has some big names. And this competition, let me talk about the competition for you readers of the future. Or you writers of the future. I mean, this is for readers and writers. If you're a writer and you've not heard of this competition before, please just Google Writers of the Future and enter your short stories into that competition. You could maybe become one of the future writers of the future like Pat Rothfuss or Nnedi Okorafor or any of the hundreds of others that have made the anthologies. So the link is in the description. The link to the contest, if you want to win this trip to Hollywood, to go to this event, this big publishing gala, just click on the link to the contest in the description. It's right there. It's probably the only thing in the description. Just click on that, fill it out, walk it through. It'll walk you through the steps and the processes of how to do it. It's pretty simple. I looked it over. And then scroll through some of the photos of the event that you'll be attending and just look at how cool it is. Now, who might you meet at this event besides myself? Maybe even possibly being in one of my future videos at the event as we celebrate the whole thing. But I mean, some of the people that you will be meeting, I mean, we've got Kevin J. Anderson will be there, S.M. Sterling, Larry Niven. We're going to have artists and illustrators like Larry Elmore, the original Dragonlance artist. We're going to have some of the newer, hotter illustrators like, I mean, not to say that Larry Elmore isn't newer and hotter, but some of the more modern illustrators like Dan Dos Santos, and dozens more of really famous names in the field that you're going to recognize. I don't want to tell you all of them. I want some of them to be a surprise for the winner who gets there. So anyway, just go ahead, click the link in the description, find out a way to win yourself a trip to Hollywood. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that.